If you're looking at a written off motorcycle because it seems like a cheap way into the bike you really want, stop before you bid. I set a hard ceiling of £1,500 on this 2008 R1200GS Adventure. Somebody else paid £2,864. I thought the buyer had paid too much. I found several clean BMWs advertised for less, and I was ready to make a video saying the market had lost its mind. And then I checked my comparison properly and realised I'd made a basic mistake. Yet even after correcting it, I still wouldn't have paid more than £1,500 because cheap to buy and affordable to own are not the same thing, and it's not the same thing for every owner. I'm considering a second bike alongside the donkey. A project appeals to me, something useful to work on, learn from, and eventually ride. And a repairable R1200GS could fit that idea. But I wouldn't be buying it to trade again in 2 years, and that distinction becomes important later on. This was a 2008 BMW R1200GS Adventure with 29,453 miles. The listing said the engine ran, it had an MOT until October 2026, and it had been recorded as a Category N write-off after an accident. Category N is often described as minor damage, and I think that wording is dangerously reassuring. It means the assessor recorded no damage to the structural frame. It does not certify the steering, suspension, brakes, electrics, or driveline as sound. Safety critical parts can still require replacement. For this auction, I couldn't inspect the motorcycle, start it myself, or test ride it. Its registration was hidden, so I could not independently research its history. The photographs and description were my entire information set. The photographs showed right side damage, a cracked mirror, abrasions to the crash bar, hand protector and knee pad, marks around the auxiliary light, mudguard and beak, and a footrest that required checking. That proves contact on the right. It does not prove a gentle fall, explain why it happened, or rule out damage the photographs cannot show. So I divided the evidence into 3 columns: known, suggested, and unknown. A reassuring story is not an inspection report. I bid £500, then £1,000. I decided that £1,500 was the most I would pay, although I never placed that final bid. That was not a prediction of market value, it was the most uncertainty I was prepared to own on a motorcycle I could not inspect. When the bidding passed it, I stopped. An auction is not a competition. If the price no longer works for you, losing is the correct result. After the sale, I found 4 clean BMWs advertised for between £2,295 and £3,000. Now, against a final auction price of £2,864 for a write-off, that looked decisive to me. But those motorcycles had covered between 43,000 and 68,000 miles. The auction bike had covered 29,453. I'd compared the model name and ignored one of the largest price variables, the mileage. And when I rebuilt the comparison, the 3 closest mileage 2008 Adventures that were advertised were at 6995, 5690 and 5995. Now all 3 were dealer asking prices, not completed sales. Their condition, equipment and seller protection added value, but they still proved that my original comparison was wrong. The buyer had plainly not paid clean bike money. At 2864, the purchase could have been rational. If you want independent decisions tested this way, including when the evidence proves me wrong, subscribe to Time for Bikes. Anyway, rational does not mean proven bargain. Auto Trader suggests a Category N marker may reduce a vehicle's value by roughly 20 to 40%. Now that's broad guidance, not a rule for this motorcycle, so I'm using it only as a sensitivity test. Applied to that 5,995 median dealer asking price, it produces a repaired asking equivalent of roughly £3,600 to £4,800. Against the 2864 purchase, that appears to leave between £730 and £1,930 of headroom. Now subtract acquisition. I'd been quoted £155 for delivery of that particular bike. Subtract the visible work and the cost of checking every control and safety related mounting. A cracked motorcycle mirror is not by itself an MOT failure. That was another mistake in my first calculation. But an MOT issued before the accident does not prove the motorcycle's current condition. Then subtract recommissioning and a contingency for what the auction evidence cannot certify. ABS, steering, suspension, clutch, drive shaft, final drive and electrical faults. I'm not saying that any of those were faulty. I am saying that the buyer has to be able to carry the cost if one of them was. The calculation runs backwards. Conservative repaired value minus acquisition, known work, recommissioning, and contingency you can genuinely afford. What remains is your maximum bid. But one more variable remains. How long do you intend to own the bike? I'm 69. If I buy an R1200GS, my intention is to keep that bike until I die. I'm not buying an asset to trade, I'm buying years of use. For an owner planning to sell it again in 2 years' time, that permanent Category N marker and the reduced resale value matters enormously. For me, ordinary resale value matters far less because I don't intend an ordinary resale. The marker still belongs in the purchase price and circumstances can always change, but I don't need to recover that discount from another buyer. What I need is a safe, dependable motorcycle whose total cost makes sense across the rest of my riding life. That's a different calculation from buying, repairing and flipping one. So next time, I will start with the evidence, set the ceiling before the auction, match the whole comparison and decide what sorted means to me before I bid. Then I'll add the ownership horizon. Am I protecting a resale value or am I buying years of use from a motorcycle I intend to keep? My first comparison here was wrong. My £1,500 ceiling was not. Market price and personal risk limit were asking different questions. That buyer may have made an excellent purchase. One serious hidden fault could equally have consumed his apparent savings. Only the buyer now knows which motorcycle they bought. The cheapest way into the motorcycle you want is not necessarily the most affordable way to own it. By only the uncertainty that you can understand, repair and afford for the owner you actually intend to be. That's what Time for Bike stands for. Judgment before specification, use before status, and old motorcycles ridden into stories worth remembering. If that sounds like your kind of motorcycling, subscribe. Then watch the High Road Challenge next. It shows you where those choices can take you.